Okay, so good morning, good day, everyone. Yeah, I'm recording in the morning. Yeah, although my presentation is actually in the evening. I have a presentation with the group this evening, so I decided that I was just going to pre-record this and keep this just in case things don't work out as I planned in the evening. Yeah, right. That's part of the things I do. Oh, my name is Adenike Adebola. I'm going to be talking to you about money today. This is the first of many series. So if you're watching this, that means you must have paid for the conversation, and I'm grateful. Thank you so much for paying and joining. I'm grateful for that. So let's get into it. So we're going to be talking about money today. Moving on to the next slide. So presentation is going to be focused on making money, managing money, and multiplying money. You can reach out to me, basically my team, but my team is me for now. But hopefully going forward, it won't be just me. On Instagram, reach out to at Real Estate CC. There's OAAA Feed the Nation. There's a story around this. It's something that I want to do with my daughter. My daughter is not old enough, so I'm starting it off, and hopefully we'll be able to run it together by the time she's old enough for that. And there's AMACOO Ventures. That's the handle or the stream I have for virtual assistants. So in case you need virtual assistants for your business, even for your personal runs and all, maybe your presentations, you need someone to support, you need graphic designs, reach out to us. We're always happy to help. So let's get straight into it. Making money. So, how do we make money? You make money from your income streams. Excuse me. Income streams are the various sources of revenue that contribute to your overall earnings. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to be doing a lot of scriptures here. Huh? So I want us to talk about kingdom finance, basically, but I trust that people that are not believers will be able to find this useful as well and hopefully find their way to God. But let's focus on money today. So Genesis chapter 2, verses 10 to 14 tells us about four rivers that watered the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden was the perfect garden. So remember, this was before the fall, before man fell. So it's not like, oh, it's as a result of the curse that the land God cursed and therefore this needed to be done. This was part of the original design. God's perfect garden needed multiple sources of inflow, because if you read through Genesis chapter 2, verses 10 to 14, each of the streams were providing different things to Eden. And it's a model of the way our life should be. I do not believe that we were designed for one stream of income. There's a raging debate around that. Some people are like, oh no, so some people can do only one thing. And that's okay. But I think that even with that one thing you can do, the one talent allegedly, you find out that as you begin to use your one talent, you begin to see things you could do. So, for example, let's say you're an engineer. I am an engineer. So you're doing your engineering, you are focused on your day job. But somehow in the middle of your day job, you realize that, oh, for example, there's an opportunity for supplying ABC that's not going to conflict with my work. And I think I'll use my dad as an example here. When my dad was working as a data analyst with one of the multinationals, well, maybe it's now a subnational, whatever, one of the companies anyway. So he was working as a data analyst, but he identified that not many people had computers at the time. And so he began to sell computers. And from there, you make friends, you have office mates and all. They need someone to help them with their computer accessories. Then you begin to address those. So you haven't left your field as a computer engineer, for example, or as a data analyst. Or you find out that maybe some business people around you need someone to help them with getting insights for their business. So you can still help with that. So you haven't deviated from your core, and but you have found other streams around you. So I'd like you to spend some time to think about having multiple streams of income. Some people call it jack of all trades. There are quite a lot of derogatory thoughts around that, but I don't believe that it is always it should always be derogatory. I think there's value in having multiple streams of income, and we'll go into that shortly. So how do you plan to I like this question. How do you plan to manage your own imperfect garden with only one source of inflow, with the dollar that is not dollaring, or the pound that is showing her pride with her surname? I'm struggling with that. But the aim is not to shame anyone. It's just to highlight that as you're learning about making money, understand that one source of income is barely enough and it's not the best practice. I know I've heard of CEOs that are paid in multiples of millions and all of that, but if you look in terms of percentages, what percentage of the population are these people? And well, it's really up to you to decide. But I would not recommend a single source of income. Yes, do everything well, but I struggle with a source, one source. So let's move on to income stream examples. So one of the examples I have is your employment salary. So with your employment salary, that's I think that's straightforward enough, right? It's the money you earn when you go to work. And so you go to work, you do your job properly, and that's the one many of us are acquainted with. And well, some of us are trusting God for jobs. Well, a good percentage of the population know about employment salaries. If you are in need of employment, uh, there's a whole, would I say, network of a whole family that addresses this. Now, so you can reach out to us on Instagram, any of the handles there, talk to us, and I'll connect you with the community where we share opportunities regarding employment. But I think that's kind of quite explanatory, right? So let's move on to the next one, which is freelance work. Freelance work is the catch-all, really. So if you're not paid by an employer, you're not expecting salaries at the end of the month, then but you're working, you're a freelancer, long and short. Yeah, some of us are doing businesses that are structured, but maybe we can distinguish that. Maybe we can put the people that are earning in three buckets: people that earn from employment, people that earn from their structured business. If your business is not that structured, you're probably a freelancer. I would want to put anyone that is not in paid employment under the freelance bucket, but it's a matter of semantics anyway. So another source of income that you could explore is rental income. Like you can see on my Instagram handle, I'm real estate CC. So obviously I sell real estate. And one of the things you can do with the real estate you buy is to rent it out. You don't have to always live in the place that you are working and that you bought. So maybe there are many things you can do. You can pool resources. This is a community. You have a community of people that you trust. People can pool resources together, buy maybe a shop, one shop, and you're renting out the shop. So the income that comes out of that shop, you all share it. Let's say monthly, or you say every quarter we want to share. So that's one way. You don't have to wait until you build that 10 bedroom mansion before you can earn rental income. There are many ways to think about it. Then you can earn income from dividends. So, for example, you buy stock. I do that as well. I do trade. I trade in foreign stock for now because I haven't seen anything really in the Nigerian stock exchange that is jumping out to me. But back in 2021, I think 2021 or 2022, I can't remember which exactly. It was 2021. I did a bit of research and I realized that there was a month that one of the stock on the Nigerian stock exchange gained 50% of what it was the month before. And so, but of course, it requires, how would I have known ahead that this one is going to do that well, 50%? So my struggle with the Nigerian stock exchange is that the data is not easy to predict per se. Nothing is ever predictable, but the other stock exchange, they've done a lot of work in in gathering data and helping you make informed choices. So for now, I use Chaka. So if you're interested in having that conversation, you can come into my DM and let's talk about investing in stock. I'll be happy to have that conversation with you. Of course, for a fee. After some, I do 15 minutes fee, and after that, it's a fee. Okay, so another thing you can earn income from is book and song sales. So some of us that sing well, you could sing a song. It's going to cost you, it doesn't get into the studio. Of course, you have to invest in that. But once you get the song all ready to go and you maybe put it on YouTube, you monetize your channel, etc., you begin to earn income from that. That's something to think about with your singing talent. All those of us in the choir, get someone to record you while you are singing in church or whatever and post it online. I know that Pastor Tolu Ijogun, uh, Pastor Tolu Odukoya Ijogun, she doesn't always get into the studio to record. Sometimes it's just clips from her ministration during service that comes on her YouTube channel and it's monetized. She's going to earn from those views as well. I know, yes, we're all going to be blessed and all, but she's also going to earn from that. And then if you're a writer, now I have a writing community that I'm running with my friend. Her name is Adebukola. We are currently on this challenge where you write for 100 days, 100 words for 100 days. We're trying to groom writers. And by the time you write your book, we are offering the person that is most consistent and does the best is going to get a free editing contract. And so we are up for that. The Instagram handle for that is Amanda Turner Writing Services or Amanda Turner. So if you're interested, you can come into my DM and I'll just guide you through that as well. You're welcome. And of course, if you don't have time for all of these energy draining things, you can look for fixed deposits. Many banks offer them. The interest rates may not be great, but at least you know that you're earning from that. So you fix your money, maybe while you're still thinking of what you want to do with it, and you fix it, and you start getting interest from it. Of course, the one that well, maybe for the purpose of these examples, I'll put running your business under freelance work, but some people may want to put some distinction there. So let's move on to why. The why. Why are you diversifying? I said it before, you reduce your risk. So if you have only one stream of income, you have put all your eggs in one basket. That's you are the living example of that idiom. But if you have multiple streams of income, so for example, in 2023, towards the end of 2023, I resigned from my job and I needed to more or less make a decision on what next to do in terms of employment. But because I had diversified my portfolio, I had money I could rely on. I was doing freelance work that was bringing in income. I didn't have employment salary income coming in. I went to ask for my pension, my 25% pension. So that one came in. Rental income, I didn't have so much, but I got from dividends, I got some money from there. Book and song sales, maybe interest from fixed deposits, yes, because I used piggy vest for my own investments. I actually put my money in piggy vests in dollars. That's what I did anyway. I know that Nigerian government is now doing what they are doing. But at the time, that's what I did. I had the money. So if I every time I had spare money, I'll just dump it there and just keep it in dollars. And so I don't know. Am I part of people with causing the exchange rate problems? I don't know. But I had to protect my income. So I did that. And when I needed money, my money had grown in value and I was able to, you know, lean on it. So risk reduction is the first thing. Stability, of course. Remember, this is a Christian finance class. We know that God is our stability. However, God gives us wisdom per time. There are so many, many money conversations I've had with God that He has given me direction on what to do per time. So what is stability today may not be stability tomorrow, but on the average, as you let God lead you, as you make your financial decisions, having multiple streams of income also improves the ability to be stable. so that you don't come and tell us that, oh, because I lost my job, I can't take care of my 4 kids and all of that. Yeah, we will contribute, we'll do the best we can, but we'll also have honest conversations. You can do better with your financial planning. We know that there are unforeseen circumstances that do happen, but sometimes with the multiple streams of income, it cushions the effect. Yeah. And then there's also the potential for growth. Even if nothing bad happens, no emergency, at least if you have residual income coming from one source, you don't really need to spend at the time. You can put it away and it will be like your nest egg for you don't know when that rainy day is going to come and you're going to pull from that resource. That's going to be my that's what I would recommend anyway. And again, my Instagram handles at Real Estate CC, at OAAA Feed the Nation, at AMACOO Ventures. If I get the chance, I will tell you the story behind each of the Instagram handles. So let's go to making money. We are still talking about making money. So I found some statistics I think are worth sharing. So let's look at the first one on the left. 56%. What's that? It's from Statista.com and it's the world employment ratio. We have 56% of people that are employed worldwide. So the question that's people within the employable range, which is from 18 to I believe 60. So that's percentage of people over 15 years that are employed worldwide. So what are the other 44% doing? I would love to hear from you. You can share in the comments what do you think the other 44% are doing. Okay, so let's look at another interesting statistic, which is 40%. 40% is from World Bank and is the World Female Employment Ratio. The actual number is 39.49%, but because I couldn't fit that into the graphic, I rounded it up to 40%. So, and just fun fact, the country that has the most women in the workforce are Armenia. Who do you know that? Which popular people do you know that's from Armenia? Let's take that as our quiz. And the person with the best answer is going to get a prize from me. And the prize basically is just, would I say 15 or 30 minutes? A 30 minutes conversation on regarding your money. 30 minutes recorded, please. It's going to be recorded so that I can share it with the world. But you get to ask your money questions one on one, and I'll be happy to share my thoughts on your questions. Please note that I'm not a CFA. I'm not a certified financial analyst. I'm just sharing from my knowledge base the things that I've my based on my experience. And this is why I don't do this often because I'm not certified to do it. But of course, I'll be happy to answer the questions in the best way I can. So the question is, what are the other 60% or 61 point no, it's 60.51% of women doing? If only 40% of us are in paid employment, what are the rest of us doing? I know there are probably some men that are going to listen to this, but I want to focus a bit more on women because while the general world statistics is, I don't know, in between good for, but if you can compare 40% with 56%, you know that there are more men in employment than women, except the population, because we've learned that population balance is like 50-50. So we definitely have more men if we have 40% of women in employment. So let's focus on that. I trust that there's going to be some men that will take on their brothers and talk to their brothers. So I want to talk to my sisters. So what are we doing, the other 60%? I'd love to hear that again in the comments. What do you think the other 60% are doing? So another question for you as a woman, are you depending on only your job for your income? I would say that you should reconsider that. I know people say don't shame stay at home moms and all of that. They are doing a lot of work and all of that. And I agree with the fact that stay at home moms are doing a lot of work and we value the work. However, we also have to look in terms of sustainability. If we are 50% of the world population, we need to contribute 50% even in terms of resources. Of course, the other thing is to get the other gender to contribute their own part in taking care of the home. And for me, in my opinion, that's where balance comes in. So let's talk about it. I know there's a lot to unpack there, and that's not within the scope of this session. But I just want you to sit down as a woman and ask yourself, is there anything more I can do right now? Is there any way I can rejig things so that I'm earning while I'm also doing what I can to take care of the family? So I don't, no pressures per se, but the world is putting us under pressure already. The dollar is on our necks. They're pressing the necks, and we refuse to be pressed. So we have to take look and see how we can optimize. So the aim is not to shame, please. So let's say you're even depending on your job income. And I spoke with one of my friends, and she was talking about how they've been working on the Japa thing, and they've been thinking of school and all of that. And one thing she did most of the talking, and she got to the point where she was like, oh, she needs to hone her skills. I just shared my story with her, and she was like, oh, I need to hone my skills because my skills have helped me a lot in life. I know God is my helper. God has used my skills to help me a lot. So while we trust in God, God is not a magician. He does, he follows the process and the procedure. So what skills are you getting that will help you earn to fund your Japa lifestyle? For example, if your plan is to Japa as a female, and all of that. But we need to stop and think about that. Then the other question, your current lifestyle. Yes, you're taking care of your kids, and there are funds that are required to run the home, just like love is required and care. So how are you funding that? What's the plan? You need to have serious money conversations with your husband, with your significant other, and understand how you want to fund the lifestyle because the lifestyle is not changing. The income has to expand to reach it. Okay, so let's go to this is quite a busy slide, so we'll try to run through it. So let's talk about creating multiple streams of income. So the first thing, unemployment. If you say, "Oh, I just want to stay employed," that's nice. But how about you look into things you can do to increase your skills? So again, there's a young lady I spoke with, and she was telling me that earlier in her career, she just focused on doing her job and making sure that she delivers on time and all. But by herself, she realized after she met someone who, in my opinion, is like a witch that was taking credit for her work and just basically promoting herself. She realized by herself that she needed to do more. And I met her recently, and we've been talking about her career advancement. We've been looking at skills that she needs to pick up, and I'm supporting her through that process. There's also another woman. She's not even Nigerian, and we're having the conversation. And she was talking about how she has spent 6 years in her current place of employment, and she's not able to meet her needs. And there's stress all over. And so I began to ask her that what else can you do? What begin to talk about it. I know she told me about her passion. She was so passionate about it, but she was like, "Well, it has nothing to do with the work she does now." And I was like, "You can make it work. You just need to sit down again. The multiple streams of income thing. You can make a career out or make an income stream out of that passion." Okay, so of course, if you decide that you want to just stay within employment things, you can take on side gigs. I think I mentioned it at the beginning of this video that during my 3 months of not working, I was still working because I also do some freelance work within my field, my engineering field, and it was funds uh, from all the other sources as well as the freelance work that I did that I was able to use to sustain at least myself and some of my needs during that period of not being employed. You can also start a business. As you can see, I've shown you Instagram handles of 3 businesses that I've started. And I also run a community for startup business owners. I don't run it alone. I run it with my 5 other amazing sisters. There's Adebukola again. We run that business together. There's Omolara. There's Chinaza. There's Mary. There's Kike. five, six of us run the community, and of course, we have support from our brethren. There's Brimo, at least, is one of our strong men there, and we have other men. There's David, other people. So you can start a business, and if you're interested, you can reach out, and we'll be happy to coach you through. We have a couple of resources that we can use to support you. We've started a coaching program, so you can reach out. I'll be happy to share our links with you. Then I think we already started talking about investments. Of course, I will always start with real estate and real estate to see. So you can invest in real estate. I know one of my colleagues and I were talking recently and we're looking at real estate prices around the world. And he was telling me his story about some money that he got, and he bought some land in his home state. And he said that between the time, we did the math because he was just telling me that I think he said he bought it for 50 million or something. And by now it's 153 million naira, something like that. So I was like, okay, wait, before we go like, wow, such a great uh, appreciation and all, let's check the in terms of the value that you really got. And so we checked and we realized that he has made, in the space of about 2 years or so, he has made like 36 point something percent increase because we converted the dollars and dollar at the time he bought it to the dollar rate at this time, and then we did the difference and all of that. So we came up with about 36 point something percent. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll take it. It's a true store of value. So yeah, you can find good real estate investments to put your money in. Please feel free to reach out to Real Estate Sisi on Instagram. Still Real Estate Sisi on Twitter as well. And my email address is sisirealestateng@gmail.com. You can check in the caption for my WhatsApp number as well. I just don't want it to be on video because I want people that watch the video to also read the caption on YouTube so that we can keep it moving. So you can join cooperative societies because some cooperative societies pull for funds together and invest. So you could, I've been in a couple where they take your funds, they invest in it, and then you get dividends at the end of the year. So that's something to do. You can input your money in bonds. Bonds like the federal government of Nigeria releases bonds. So you're basically borrowing the government money, and the government will pay you. It's statutory, it's part of the law for them to pay you before they take care of their debt. So you can look into that. The issue with bonds is that the rates may not be so high, but you know that your money is there. Then, of course, there's a stock option. You can look into the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The good thing is that with Chaka, you can invest in both the real estate, stock exchange and foreign stock. So I use Chaka. Some people have talked about Rise First. There are other tools like that that you could use, but I can vouch for Chaka because I've used Chaka. So if you're interested, I'll be happy to give you my referral link and let's invest together. Then you can also have passive income sources. I like talking about writing. Writing is somewhere in between active and passive. Writing because it takes time for you to write. So, like for example, this morning, I sent my book to my editor, excuse me, and she's told me that I need to work on my dialogues. My dialogues are weak. So I woke up this morning, I wrote a bit, and she was telling me that, oh, just work them together, put them together and edit the document. So I was like, no, let me finish fleshing that out and I'll update the document. Don't worry. But I'm working with my editor, so it's going to take a bit of upfront work. That's where I'm going with that. But eventually, you have what they call it, a book that forever and ever we are still reading the Bible many years after. Moses wrote the book. Moses is no longer alive. We are still reading the book. You know, people when you write is forever, and then you can earn if you structure yourself well. That's why you need to talk to us in Amanda Turner Writing Services. We will help you structure and get your book edited, and we'll begin to market it for you. And we have a structure for marketing too. And of course, we just discussed the business in there. Then there's affiliate marketing. Some of us call it network marketing. A lot of us look down on network marketing because of Ponzi schemes. So Ponzi schemes use the idea of affiliate marketing, but the issue with Ponzi schemes is that there's no real product. It's the person that you are selling, you are the product, but more or less with Ponzi schemes. There's nothing that is being sold. But with affiliate marketing, and which is what I do even with my real estate, it's affiliate because I sell for companies, so they have real estate to sell. So when I sell to you, I earn a commission. I do Seller. Seller is also, I'll be happy to talk to you if you're interested. I have a course where we can discuss Seller and set you up and get up. So you can become an affiliate. You're getting your links and marketing and getting commissions when the things are sold there. I think for now it's real estate, it's seller that I'm focusing on. Then there's a food. I have a food network that is an affiliate. There's an affiliate marketing component to it. Then there's Longreach. Yeah, I forgot about Longreach. So I sell Longreach products as well. Well, I basically use them most of the time for myself. I use the soap and the toothpaste. But if you want, you can sell. I just don't have enough uh, bandwidth to go with the selling thing. But if you decide that you want to sell, so basically, whether you buy for yourself or you are selling to others, you get a commission for every sale. So if you're buying for yourself, so it comes out as a discount. If you are selling to others, it comes as a commission. So you see, even for my real estate, when I bought my property, I got it at a discount because I bought it as a consultant. So I didn't pay the full price. Or no, I got paid back my commission. So I didn't pay the market price eventually. Then you can decide that you want to create the digital product. So for example, you're watching this course, I made the video and I created it and I put it on YouTube slash seller. So I don't have to do it continually, but I just need to be telling people that, oh, I have this course on making money. And once I've made the video, I just have to continue promoting and telling people about it. And then once you click on the links and all of that, you have everything you need and you're ready to go. So we have some exercises. You can get my, if you want to share with me, you can get my phone number. That's my WhatsApp number. Just send a DM to any of the Instagram handles there, and I'll pick it up and get back to you. Please put. We'll discuss anyway. So when you come in, so the exercises I have for you: number one, list your current sources of income. Number two, list the new sources of income you would like to start after this session. Then yes, I forgot to tell you, we have an accountability program that helps you stay on track, whatever the goals. But since the focus of this class is money, your money goals in this case, yes. Now let's talk about the strategy for building income streams. So you start small. That's what I would recommend. Some of us want to just go in big and do. I reminds me of when I started selling eggs because of the price, because I wanted to take advantage of the price for what they call them for wholesalers or so. I went and I ordered 20 cartons of eggs. I nearly fainted from exhaustion trying to sell off because remember, eggs are perishable. And I was trying, thankfully, I even had small sense. I paid for 20, but they delivered 10 cartons to me. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience, but I learned a lot from it anyway. But I would not recommend it to anyone else. But so my recommendation always is start small. Don't jump into the river immediately, except you are led by the spirit to jump sharp. That one is okay. But on the average, you want to start, you want to test the market, test what you're doing before you go in wholesale. Then you begin to expand gradually. But remember, everything I'm telling you is just on the average. The Holy Spirit can overrule everything. I'd like to just put that caveat in. Then you try to focus on your areas of expertise and interest because so for example, let's go back to when I was selling eggs. I didn't know much about selling eggs. I didn't know a lot about keeping eggs fresh or all of those things. I learned along the way, yeah, but imagine, compare me with someone that already had the background. So someone coming to mind, for example, is a lady that made my hair for me. She made my hair, and I just we got talking, and I asked, and she had good knowledge of different types of hair, things to do about hair. So you can imagine if if she could become a hair influencer, right, if she decides to expand. But I was mesmerized by her conversation about hair, such that I began to ask that, or how, in my head, I began to ask, how can we monetize this? Remember, I like money. So I was just thinking, how can we use this knowledge in a way that benefits the world and would be financially beneficial to both me and the lady speaking? And of course, I'd like to hear your ideas on that too. Please feel free to share. Then you continuously educate yourself and adapt to market trends. Make sure that you don't stay stagnant. Some of us will say, oh, this is how we've been doing it for the past 40 years. There's something important about experience, but there's also something important about growth. So you have to find the balance. So let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about managing your money. Managing your money is crucial for financial stability and achieving your long-term goals. So in managing your money, you have to learn how to save your money, how to budget, and how to be mindful of your spending habits. So let's focus on savings first. So how do you save? This I'm just going to rush through. If you want a full-blown class, you have to pay for it. Remember, I like money. So to save, you have to set clear goals. Be clear, what are you saving for? As much as possible, automate your savings, such that I did this with which one, it was my money market. Yeah, I invested in the money market funds too. So I put a standing order in my bank, so immediately the money enters into that account. They remove the money. I put the dates that I wanted to. So of course there are some months that I didn't have any money. So immediately money enters into the account. All the ones that I'm owing, they get pulled out immediately. I don't even need to say anything. Immediately they go out. And then whatever is left is what I will now do. So, of course, also build an emergency fund. We've been talking about that consistently. We are trusting God that there will be no emergencies. But imagine the relief when there is an emergency and they have to. I had to attend to an emergency recently, and I was happy that money was not one of the reasons why the emergency was worse. I'm glad about that. So some of us we work with employers that, for some, like one of my friends, she was working with the government, and with all of the wahala we have with public service, they were able to she was able to get a property from the NHF scheme that they have at work. She was able to get some money, save, and get herself property. So find out about all of those things. So for some of us, it's the cooperative that we haven't taken advantage of. Just check. Your employer probably has some benefits. Do some research and you'll find. Then look at different saving vehicles. Don't stay in one place. Again, remember what we said about not putting your eggs in one basket. And let's talk about budgeting. You need to track your income. Where are you expecting money to come from? Then write down the list of your expenses. Then you need to look through the expenses. Which ones are the ones that you could have done without? Of course, I know that sometimes they're just like, "Oh, we just finished Valentine's Day, you just want to celebrate yourself." I understand that, but you need to be careful so that you are not eating away your future. Then you try to allocate funds, track your spending, and you adjust as needed. Let's move on to minding your spending habits. Again, look at your expenses. Anything that is not necessary, cut it out. That should be, must you buy it? Think about it deeply. What else could you do with the money? How about you invest that money in getting some additional skills? Try to stay on track. Be disciplined. There's this yogurt I love. I love it. It's beautiful. I feel like it's my friend, but I've had a conversation with myself. I've told myself you need to cut it out. Negotiate your bills and expenses. Some of us immediately they tell you it's 50 naira. You don't ask, can I pay 45? Can I pay 40? Don't do all of that. You don't come out the 50, don't go with that. But you could do better. Really think about it. You could do better. Then try to shop smart. Check around. Find if you can get better prices. But of course, be careful because sometimes the less expensive one may be fake. But It's not always true, but just check. As much as possible, avoid credit cards. Use cash or debit cards, so that you are using the money you already have. You are not using your future to pay. Then have some contingency plans for irregular expenses. Again, our Instagram handle, don't forget. That's why I'm putting it all in your face every time. Reach out to us, please. We'll also be in the caption. Now let's go into multiplying money. Ways of multiplying your money. You you can multiply your money. I think I already talked a lot about this anyway. But let's talk about the scripture. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20. It says, there is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. So multiplying money typically involves strategies for growing your wealth over time through investments or other financial vehicles. So to multiply your money, there are ways. We talked a bit about real estate investments. We talked about starting a business. I mentioned investing in mutual funds. I think the one I did was ARM mutual funds. If you want to learn more about that, you can reach out. You can invest in stocks. I think we talked about that. There are some high yield savings accounts. You have to go to your bank to get more about that. We've talked about dividend paying stocks. Then you can look into peer to peer lending, or ajo as we call it, where you what they call it, you have so I don't know if that really qualifies as multiplying, but I think it helps. So for example, I collected ajo in February because I do ajo monthly. So I collected February ajo, and it was able to, like I said, I had an emergency I needed to fix, and it came in helpful. It was helpful because the money came in bulk. Huh? Imagine if I'm saying I want to wait and save it. Some people say, "Oh, I just so the what one of the financial experts I listened to said was that if you're even going to do a job, make sure you're like the first set of people to you are in the beginning, because the people collecting at the beginning, they are collecting a higher value really because of the time value of money than those that are collecting at the end. But some people will tell you that they want to be at the end because they have a specific thing they need the money for. We are running a cooperative contributory scheme. So if you're interested too, you can reach out. We'll be happy to add you to the group. So but in this our own case, it's first come, first serve. So if you are joining, depending on the month you are joining us, we tell you the slots that is available. If you want to join, we'll be happy to have you. If you don't want to join, we also understand. It's okay. Then you need to start teaching your children about money early. That's one of the ways to multiply your money. I remember a story I heard of someone that had done all the work, his retirement, everything. So in his pension fund, his child forged his death certificate and had gone to collect the money. So by the time the baba got there that he wants to collect money, they told him that somebody has already said you died. Oh. And the person presented a death certificate, and by the time they checked it, found out that it was the child. So please, in all that you are doing, take care of your children, to let your children be good children. God will help us. Then I would like to talk about the elephant in the room, because when we talk about money and all of that, and investing, people are like, okay, then someone will come and tell you, when you put in 50 naira, you will get 500 in the next hour and 200. So you have to stop and think about it. Scammers are really preying on your need to increase your income. So the first thing I would say to avoid being scammed is to ask the Holy Spirit. Ask the Holy Spirit. Then do your research as led by the Spirit again. As much as possible, protect your personal information. Don't just come and share things here and there. You notice that yes, and there are some things that I wouldn't share on the video. You have to be prudent about that, about your info. Your information is important. As much as possible, verify claims, verify identities. There's this ongoing one that is happening on Facebook that I don't want to mention names, but so the people that are claiming that they were scammed, they're saying that, oh, they just trusted this person because it sounded like a good person. I don't know if the person is a scammer or not, but it was a red flag for me that you didn't do it, but with a lot of background checks. You just trusted this person. It's an emotional money. You shouldn't be making emotional decisions about your money. Please ask every question that comes to your mind. Anyone that gets offended, it takes me to one investment I got, one of these LinkedIn big time influencers. So they marketed an opportunity and it looked really good. So I reached out and so by the time I was asking questions, I asked them if they were incorporated in Nigeria, and they said no, that they're only incorporated in America. I was like, so why are you collecting money from Nigerians if you're not going to be registered here? Because if we have any dispute, that means that the jurisdiction, assuming you are not even a scammer, the jurisdiction is going to be in the United States. That means I'm going to have to spend a lot in order to take you to court if we fall out. So I did not go forward with that. And they kept coming back to me because this guy, see, very sweet, sweet words, and all that. So I was like, ah, no, I beg you. I cannot talk, I can't shout. So I pulled out because I wasn't okay with it. But someone else would go like, oh, life is a risk, let's all take the risk. It's okay. If you want to do that, that's fine. Well, it doesn't work for me. Then as much as possible, stay informed, learn about what scammers are doing, but please don't live in fear. That's one I would say you shouldn't do. Then secure your devices, do two-factor authentication as much as possible. At least make sure that the leak doesn't come from you. My devices were stolen in very, very strange circumstances in December of 2023. But thankfully, because of the security, I was very concerned about one of my phones because that phone didn't even have a password. Because I was like, well, I don't have any secrets there. But one of the lessons I learned was I've started passwording my phone, but not because I'm hiding anything from any partner, because anyone that wants to know my password that I trust can get it, can have it. But at least if the devices fall into the wrong hands, they can't get in because there's a password. So I convinced myself that I should do that. Then verify all transactions and payments. Don't before you pay, someone sends you a WhatsApp chat and says, "Oh, I'm stranded." It happened to me. Someone reached out to me and said, "Oh, sis, I'm stranded. I've reached my daily limit of payment or that. Please, can you send me 150K and by tomorrow I'll send you back?" I was like, "See this one, I'm a just scammer." So I was like, need to have already reached my limit. Sorry. So and the person sent it to my two phones and all of that. So I was like, okay. Oh. Then I just was like, I'm sorry, I can't. And the person was like, oh, please, just tell something, something. I just blocked the number and I continued with what I was doing. So I unblocked the number the next day. And then this person reaches out and says, oh, my phone was hacked. That please help me report. And I was like, see, not that you always be the best, but as much as possible, verify before you send payments. Every transaction that you're making, make sure that you're paying to the right person, and save your transaction receipts because sometimes it may be, particularly those of us that have been having experiences with Instagram vendors. Let's be guided. Again, reach out to us on Instagram. The handles are there. So I just, in the goodness of my mind, I decided to end this with scriptures about money. So let's start with Matthew 6:24. I'm not sure what's going on with this slide. Okay. Matthew 6:24, Proverbs 13:11, Proverbs 22:7, First Timothy 6:10, Matthew 6:19 to 21, Proverbs 3:9 to 10, Luke 16:10, and Philippians 4:19. I just want us to spend some time. God is concerned about our money, so let's talk about it. So Matthew 6:24 says, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you'll be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. So just to help us keep it in context, God is above money. Money is important, but don't be one of those people that can do anything for money. Let God be the one that you can do anything for. Then again, still on money, it says the dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. which is consistent with what we have been saying. Don't be in a haste to make dishonest money. It doesn't end well, it ends in tears. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." I really wanted to go into borrowing and lending, but I guess it's going to be another part of the money conversations. But I just want us to begin to think about it before you borrow. Make sure that the only times you are allowed to borrow is if the borrowing you're doing is to invest and get more returns so that you can pay more. Otherwise, I'll be borrowing. I don't talk my own. First Timothy chapter 6 verse 10, it says, "For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs." Again, warning us, as you are making money, multiplying money, managing money, blah, 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 please be very, very careful about the love of money. Don't be the one that will do anything for money, please. Okay, so Matthew 6:19-21, it says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moths and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So I'm begging you, please, let your treasure be in God, not in money. Money is a tool. Money is not don't let it be your God. Be careful. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 9 to 10. It says, "Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruit of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine." I'm a living testimony. When you honor the Lord with your wealth, God will not leave you stranded. I encourage you to key in. Let God lead you, please. Don't let any pastorpreneur mislead you. I'm begging you. Let it be that God is the one that's telling you what to do with the money, please. Luke chapter 16, verse 10, it says, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much." So it's addressing the state of your heart. Are you an honest person? Can we leave money in your hands and trust you to do it the right way? Then let's finalize with what God is saying. "My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." Well done. And we made it to the end. If you have any questions, please send them to me on Instagram at Real Estate CC, at OAA Feed the Nation, and at AMACOO Ventures. I'm looking forward to your questions. And thank you very much. This is me again. So my takeaway for you is you can make money, manage money, and multiply money without selling out to the devil. Let's connect. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thankful. So I'm going to stop recording now.